Hey, hey, everybody! Welcome, welcome. Live stream, Facebook Live, indoor cycling rides. Going to be an interval ride going down in just a few minutes. My name is Brooke Benton. I'm a master trainer for Johnny G Spirit Bike, but this ride can be done on any bike, as long as you have resistance to toggle with, and ideally, your bike measures watts, because we want to know how much power you're producing in these power endurance intervals today. You guys, it is a whopper of a workout. We're going to start with a warm-up to prepare your tissue for the ride that follows. Then we have a 1-minute all-out max where you just empty your tank. Your watts are going to be way up there. Then we recover for 2 minutes. It's going to be a 2-to-1 ratio of recovery and work. Then we got a 2-minute all-out, 4-minute recovery, 3-minute all-out, 6-minute recovery, 4 minutes of power endurance where you were just giving your ultimate best 4 minutes straight. Then we have almost 8 minutes to recover. Before then, a 5-minute FTP test that's going to check your functional threshold power. It is exhaustive to do an FTP test. So if you were doing this on your own, you would probably warm up and then jump right into FTP mode. But you guys aren't just here to check your power. You're here for a workout. You're going to get cardio endurance, you're going to get muscular endurance, and you're going to get power out of this ride that is just about to go down. My music is provided by Power Music. Let's see what we got going on today. It's called Virtual Class Music Cardio 1. I'm going to get that music started. You guys, before we do anything else, you want to be sure that you have a tall drink of water, a towel, and you're raring to go. So fill up that water bottle, get your towel, then jump on the saddle. We're going to get started with a warm-up. You can clip in or just slide your feet into the cages. On the Johnny G Spirit Bike, it defaults to warm-up mode when you get on the bike. You're going to want to level on 5 to 10 on your levels. So that's going to be enough that you feel the real road beneath you. At a level 5, it kind of feels like you're riding on a flat road with no headwind and no tailwind. You're just propelling this bike along, and you could go for a very long time at this intensity. Because you guys right now, just warming up, you're in your comfort zone. Not challenged but comfortable. Nowhere near challenged and uncomfortable. We're just preparing the tissue for the goodness in store. You want to be sure as we're riding today, your shoulders are relaxed. You're like me, a lot of times you can get real tense in the upper traps. When the rest of the body's working, you get all crunchy up here. I want you to relax those upper traps, relax those shoulders, and to help you do so, let's take a posture break. Roll those shoulders back twice. And roll them forward. Back for 2. And forward for 2. Let's do it again. Go back. And other direction. Very nice. Take your right arm across the chest. Nice shoulder stretch for the right shoulder. And wind it back, then come a little deeper in that shoulder stretch. Super duper. Release right, left arm crosses over. Here in our warm-up, since we're on a flat road, your cadence is between 80 and 110 revolutions per minute. If you're riding faster than 110, friend, you need a little bit extra resistance on your bike. We never ride faster than that in a safe indoor cycling class. Release, tricep stretch. You grab your elbow and slightly pull back. And release, switch, other side. If we were riding on the road on a road bike today, your triceps would get quite fatigued from holding yourself stable while the bike moves. Good thing for you, this bike isn't going anywhere. So your triceps should not get very fatigued in this workout today. Release, hands on the bars, continue your warm-up. It should feel as if this room around you is increasing in heat. That's actually your core body temperature rising, and that is a good thing. That means your body is getting prepared for work. And boy, we're going to work today. Be sure if you're on the Johnny G Spirit Bike, when we start our progressive intervals, you press the play button to exit warm-up mode. We want the data of the workout. You're not going to be able to collect that if you stay in warm-up mode the entire class. Also, don't wait for me to cue you to get water. Bottoms up. Take small sips of water as you ride today. Okay. If you haven't already picked up on it, I am a Texas girl, so you're going to hear a little bit of an accent, and you're going to hear a motherload of y'alls. I say the word over and over and over. Hope you find it endearing and not annoying. Okay. Are you feeling warm? Are you feeling raring to go? With 1 minute, your absolute best. As much as you can put on the bike, as much level you can put on your bike, and sustain 70 RPMs. So that's going to be a lot of level. Because most of you at like a level 5 or even a level 10 would be able to sustain RPMs much higher than that for 1 minute. So let's add some levels on. If you're not on a Johnny G Spirit bike, maybe you're just adding on that resistance lever or turning to the right on your resistance knob until you feel you're no longer on a flat road. You're actually on a mild hill with headwind blowing at your face on a fixed gear bike. Here's what's going down. In 5 seconds, push the play button. We go all out. 1 minute. Play button, go. Here you are. Keep adding layers of resistance until 70 RPM is your go pace here. You'll be just slightly slower than the beat of the music. The beat of the music is 150 beats per minute. So when we ride at 75 RPMs, you'll be hitting the beat of the music today. By now you're feeling some fatigue set into the legs, into the glutes. Good. Fight with me. 20 more seconds. I'm not saying that it's easy to sustain 70, but doable. Not 68, y'all. Get it up to 70. Release. Ay, caramba. 2 minute recovery. Woo. We need the recovery, y'all. We hunger for the recovery. Because here's the thing. In order to work at your best, you have to replenish, okay? You gotta be able to restore. That is our one and only reason for these breaks, for these recovery periods, to work harder. Johnny G is among the most renowned cyclists ever, yet he will preach to you. You can't just go hard all the time. You gotta recover, you have to restore. Use this time to flush out those legs, lengthen the rhythm of your breath, which will automatically lower the beat of the heart. You may even want to close your eyes and make a concerted effort to take the rhythm of the heart down. When you open your eyes, you should notice your heart rate is significantly lower than the last time you checked. Coming up in 50 seconds, we have a 2 minute all out. This time, I'm going to want you to sustain 80 RPMs, 80 RPMs for 2 minutes. Okay? To do that, you probably need to take off 1 to 2 levels from where you were in our 1 minute. Remember, upper body's relaxed, calm under pressure. Lower body's ready to work. When it gets super tough, set your mind's eye on your glutes. Your glutes are the strongest muscles in your body, and when we are trucking it uphill with great power, these things are what's getting you there. In 5 seconds, go ahead and put your levels on. And pick up the cadence. Pick up the cadence to 80 RPMs. You're slightly faster than the rhythm of the music. Hey, check out your watts. Highly conditioned female cyclists are up there in the low 300 watts right now. Highly conditioned male cyclists are up there much higher than that. It's only 2 minutes of work. It's called power endurance. These muscles are gonna endure it. That heart's gonna endure it. You got this. Gotta put it up here. Get strong in the mind gym. Are you right there, steady at 80? If you could ride 85, you need an extra little bit of resistance. 1 more minute. What I love about workouts that are this tough in nature is your mind can't drift. You can't be worrying about all the other problems in the world. You are right here, right now, focused on this one goal. And that right now is sustaining 88 RPMs up this hill for another 30 seconds. Seconds. Whoop, 10. Release. Man, oh man. Flush out those legs. As I'm recovering here, I'm taking the Johnny G Spirit bike all the way down to a level 1. After you feel your heart rate has come down significantly, your legs are feeling a little better, your glutes are like, all right, I see what's going on here. I'm gonna work for you during the on periods, but I'm good, I'm flushed out. Then you'll wanna add a little more level. If you're on a different bike, a little bit up on your resistance lever or to the right on your resistance knob until once again you feel like you're on a flat road. No headwind, no tailwind. Similar to your warm-up. So for most of you, that's taking it up to a level 5 to 10. Do you feel the road beneath you? If it feels as if you're riding downhill, you need to add on some. It'll feel like that when we're flushing it out initially, but once you add the flat road, you propel this bike. It doesn't ride you. So proud of you guys doing this right here with me today. You are going to be able to achieve results most people won't achieve because you're willing to do work most people will not do. I always say there's sweetness in the struggle, and there really is. I mean, nothing cool has ever happened in my comfort zone. It's where it's challenging, where I'm out there on a limb, and I'm not sure I'm going to make it to the other side. That is the sweet stuff. That is when life gets good. I also feel like the way we rise to challenges here on the bike makes us more resilient when those challenges come up in the real world, and they will, and they do, every single day. You got 2 more minutes on the recovery. Your RPMs are probably around 90 right here. Even though it's flat, I don't want you maximizing this flat, because again, this is still the low period. This is the low interval. You're holding something back, so you have a lot to give. You guys, 3 minutes all out coming up. We're gonna take even another level off. Most of you will be somewhere between 8 and 13 as your levels on the bike. Highly conditioned male cyclists, maybe a little bit over that, maybe 14. You're like, oh, how come? How come? Well, folks, here's a little physiology for you. Men have bigger hearts with bigger chambers, so they're able to pump more blood per systole. And some of you got some live oaks, really strong legs, and a motor in the back of that Honda. All of that trifecta is going to help propel you with great velocity. Okay? What's coming up? What is coming up, or what is going down in 45 seconds is a 3-minute all out. Your RPM goals, 90. 90 this time. So finally, you don't feel like you are on a hill, a light hill. You are on a flat. You do have headwind blowing at your face because you have to have something to push against, y'all. You got strong buns, strong legs, strong hearts. You need something to counter that. So for most of you, levels are 8 or higher. Go ahead and put that on. Those legs accustomed to that resistance. For a couple of you, that's where you've been. You need to go up from there. 8 to 13, maybe a little bit more for you highly conditioned male cyclists. And we go 3 minutes, sustaining 90 RPMs. Check in with yourself. If you look down and you see, whoa, at a level 8, my RPMs are 105, and it's sustaining that way, so you may need another level. But bear in mind, it's not just about hitting an RPM, it's about keeping it there. So, a resistance level on your bike that you can stay steady at 90, 3 minutes solid. I want you being bold, being brave. You're not afraid of a little hard work. Remember back in the day, people had no fear stickers. No fear? In Texas, we say ain't scared. We ain't scared, y'all. We ain't scared of a little hard work. Good news, 1 minute shaved off in the tank, 2 minutes ahead of us. Now be for real. Are you faster than 90? If so, add a level, sustain it 90 revolutions per minute, and you couldn't go faster and sustain it for another minute 40. Find that perfect balance between your cadence and your resistance. With the cadence, steady at 90. Find the resistance that works with that. And get your heart rate up in the challenging and extremely uncomfortable zone. Your jaw is dropped. Your second wind through your mouth and your nose. Johnny G is a huge proponent of breath. Open your chest. Position your hands out wide on the bottom of the handlebars. Open that diaphragm. Now breathe. 1 more minute. If you're feeling like you've hit your point, you're starting to feel a little lightheaded, nauseous, dizzy, or sick, you may need to leave the party early. And that's okay. That is all right. But if you have it in you, another 32 seconds, add a level, but sustain 90. Just give it a try. More seconds on this bike, on this hard ride, hard interval, power endurance. Get through it. 3, 2, release. Ay, Dios mío. Here's good news. You have killed it, crushed it, conquered. Our 1 minute all out. Our 2 minute power endurance. 3 minute power endurance. There's only 2 left. The bad news. It's a 4 minute and then a 5 minute. You knew that was coming. You knew it was coming. So much of the game is mental. I recommend the book Mind Gym by Gary Mack. It helps train you to get strong up here because this body is capable of so much, so much. It's the mind that holds you back, okay? Once you got it right up here, you are capable of so much more than you ever dreamed. Now when we hit our 4 minute all out, I'm gonna take you back down. 85 RPMs. Should be the fastest you can ride on our 4 minute all out. Fatigue is gonna set in, to the glutes especially, but also hammies and quads. When I say hammies, when you ride this bike, don't always focus on the push down. You also need to focus your mind's eye on pulling up and over the top. When you do so, hey hamstrings. Okay. We will want a level that is challenging but doable to sustain 85 revolutions per minute. Okay? For most of you, that's going to be a 9 to 14. 9 to 14 is your levels on the Johnny G Spirit bike. If you're on a different bike, you're just going to have to play with it and see what's the perfect amount of resistance that with pushing yourself all you can sustain a steady 85 revolutions per minute. Okay. I also want you to set a goal for yourself. Set a goal right up here in head. If you have a watt reader on your bike, how many watts will you sustain for these 4 minutes? It's going to be a good way for you to gauge what your performance may be on our 5-minute FTP test that we finished with. So, highly conditioned female cyclists, maybe your goal is to sustain 250 watts for 4 minutes. Highly conditioned male cyclists, maybe your goal is to sustain watts in the 400s for just 4 minutes. Just 4 minutes. That would be extremely highly conditioned, and you would need those gears on the higher end of the range I recommended. That again is the upper echelon of indoor cyclists. I also would like you to have a contingency plan. So it's all well and good that you intend on hitting maybe, what's your goal, 200 watts? Fellas, maybe 250 watts. Average indoor cyclist would be right around there. That's your goal. What if you fall out of it? Have a contingency plan. Tell yourself, I can drop out of my training zone for 15 seconds, and then I got to get right back up there. Set that contingency goal in mind, or maybe you say, I'm going to aim for 200 watts. But if that seems to be out of reach, it's not that I'm wrong. Nothing's wrong with me. The goal was wrong. Maybe you drop your goal down to 175 watts. Okay? Whatever the case may be, you got to have a plan B up here to set yourself up for success. And you guys, in 5 seconds, we are chasing down success with reckless abandon. Put your level on, and we go. 4 minutes, 85 RPMs. Always, always permissible to come out of saddle. Long through the arms, strong through the legs. Your hips are way back. At this intensity, you could not hold a conversation. You could say, yeah, good, woo, that's about it. If you're on the Johnny G Spirit bike and you need to adjust your level, you can do so at the end of the handlebars or the center console. One of my favorite features about this bike is the digital cockpit. Beautiful blue light that glows back at me, telling me my level, RPMs, time, distance, wattage, and heart rate if you have your heart rate strap paired. You guys, gotta have ice in those veins for staying calm under pressure. Stay calm under pressure. We don't let it get to us. We work hard, because this able body is a gift, and it's a joy to use the gift. Are you steady at 85? Yeah, me too. Good. What you do, I do. We're better together. We're in this ride together. Relax those straps. That's 2 minutes in the tank. 2 minutes ahead of us. Bring it on. Music is such a motivator. And man, these jams are rocking today. So I like to think of a continuum of being in your comfort zone. Challenged but comfortable. Challenged and uncomfortable. Challenged, extremely uncomfortable, and breathless. You're challenged and extremely uncomfortable. I promise, you are going to see the end of this ride. You're going to live to see the finish. You will not regret pushing yourself. It's usually a regret is not going hard when we had the chance, when we could have. We held back. Don't have that regret, y'all. Don't do it. Push through those mental barriers. We create them. They're not real. You told yourself that that's my limit. Burst through it. Burst through it right here. If you can, add one level, 30 more seconds, sustain 85 RPM. This may be where you just went breathless. Seconds. Release. All right. This, my friends, is where the rubber meets the road. We got to recover. An extended recovery here. Because you can't just keep fueling with nothing. That's where a lot of fitness enthusiasts get it wrong. Athletes know, I gotta work and I gotta recover. But a lot of fitness enthusiasts out there diminish the quality of their recovery in favor of more all-outs, more. And what you're doing is living in a catabolic state, fight or flight all the time. You're breaking down more than you are building up. And that, my friends, is how you end up injured. So use this recovery. It's savvy, it's smart. It's what the athletes do. Cheers, you guys. Drink that water. If you're on the Johnny G Spirit bike, probably at a level 1 right now, still bringing it down. The more conditioned you get, the faster you will recover after those all-out bursts, those all-out power endurance intervals, where we're frying the legs, glutes, heart, lungs, mental capacity. You will restore all of that much quicker as your body gets more conditioned to this type of workout. If you're brand new to cycling, you're still trying to catch the heart and lungs you left way back there, right? Trying to catch them, put them back in, get that body right. For those of you that have a very strong aerobic base, by now, you're like, girlfriend, what up? What's next? Well, I would say for you, add the flat road on. Level 5 to 10, where you're feeling some ground beneath you, and you're propelling that bike forward on the flat road each revolution. Don't worry about your revolutions per minute. They're not crazy fast, because this is the time where we got to tell that body, you've done good. Praise your body. It receives that. When we send negative energy to ourselves, it receives that as well. You tell yourself you can't, you cannot. You tell yourself, well, yeah, ain't nobody beating me to the top. Ain't nobody beating you to the top. You gotta believe it. If you don't believe in you, nobody else is gonna believe in you. So right now, you're sending all the positive vibes you can muster into this body. Because we have a 5-minute functional threshold power test. When you do a FTP test, we're seeing how much power this body can produce and sustain over an extended period of time. Typically, a FTP test is 20 minutes. That's the more accurate way to do a FTP test. But when you're short on time, you can do a 5-minute FTP test. Like I told you guys at the beginning, typically when you do that test, you want to come in fresh, warm up, and then go for it. You came for a full workout today, so I already led you through progressive intervals. That fatigue is not completely going to go away when we jump into our 5-minute FTP test. So your performance will likely be subpar to what it typically is. If you guys do FTP tests, or you're going to do FTP tests in the future, stand alone in the rest of the workout, you'll probably find you're able to sustain a little bit higher watts. Okay, your wattage. I know I keep using that word. You're like, what does it even mean? It is a combination of how much resistance you have on that bike, so how much tension you're working against, and how much cadence you can add to that, so how much speed you can work with the resistance on the bike. The higher your levels, your resistance, and the faster you can go on it, the watts will go way, way up. Now, if you're like, I can go really fast, but it's got to be a lower gear, that is not very powerful. So your watts are going to be pretty low. It goes up significantly with each level you add on. Even though it's going to slow down your cadence, it's not exactly proportionate. So if you can add on more level and sustain at least 60 RPMs, good. But a really sweet spot for FTP tests is sustaining 80 to 85 all the way through. That's a very, very sweet spot. So that's going to be my goal for you. I can't tell you what level that's going to be. For many of you, it'll be between 10 and 15 on the bike to sustain 80 to 85 revolutions per minute for 5 minutes. But there's going to be people on either side of that, okay? There is going to be a little bit of change there. But for most of you, your level 10 to 15 will be good. You outliers, you're good too. Have the contingency plan in mind. If fatigue sets in, and you can't make it through the full 5 minutes, are you going to back off for 30 seconds, then add it back on? Because what this bike is going to tell you at the end of our FTP test is what your average watts were. So if you're reaching high in the beginning and then you fall out of it, as long as you get it back up a little bit, your average is still really good. It's really cool once we have this information of your performance on an FTP test. You can see where you rank among other cyclists of your gender. Are you hungry for this? You can't just be ready to go because I'm saying we're doing an FTP test. You gotta have a little hunger in that belly. In 45 seconds, we're gonna go. To prepare for that on your Johnny G Spirit bike, please hold the plus and play buttons for 3 seconds. That'll reset your console. Next, hold the play button for 3 seconds. Add the plus until you get to power zone. Then push the play button. Add the plus, it says off, so add the plus to get to on. Push the play button again. It says enter FTP. It'll default to 150 watts if you don't know what your FTP typically is. I'm gonna take mine up to 280, as I believe that's where my performance will be. Then you push play. Run FTP test, it'll default to no, but friend, it's a yes. Push plus, get to yes, push the play button. It's asking you 5-minute FTP test or 20-minute FTP test. Push play on the 5-minute test, and that'll start the clock for a 30-second warm-up. I would go ahead and add a little bit of level to start preparing those legs for this 5-minute FTP test. In your head, pretend you didn't do the workout that we just finished. You are fresh, you're ready to go. It is all about the next 5 minutes. You will shave them off minute by minute, and then you'll have your results at the end. In 3, 2, and 1. Gears are on. Level it on. Resistance is heavy. RPMs 80 to 85. If you are on the Johnny G Spirit bike, check out your lights. You have a light that will shine, the color that correlates with the heart rate zone you are in right now. How cool is that? You don't have to push through this entire FTP test in the saddle. Maybe you get a little burst out of saddle, Come back down. I love that the clock counts down here. Yay! You are capable of greatness. You just gotta want it. You just have to want it more than you want to quit. One minute down, 4 ahead of us. Again, don't just focus on pushing down. Also think about pulling up and over the top. Fire in the eyes. Hunger in the heart. A resolve to never quit. And a vow to finish what you start. 3:30 left. Are you right there? 80 to 85 with your revolutions per minute. It's a sweet spot for producing power. You've got a great deal of resistance on, but you're also moving at the high end of a hill cadence, or the low end of a flat, but this isn't a flat. This is a hill. You're halfway. Not quite, but you're close. All right, I'll be real with you. I'll be real with you. Right? Now you're halfway. Focus on the big house. Your glutes are your money. Use them to drive this bike. Relax that upper body. Upper body's on vacay. Lower body's working. You just gotta have a little want to. You gotta have a want to. Gotta put that desire in. Sometimes the hardest part of doing workouts this tough is just pushing the play button. Just deciding to join, right? Because once you're in, you're in. You know you're gonna see it through to the finish. People all over the world are doing this Facebook Live class with you right now. Are you gonna let them own you? Nope. No sir. Give me all you got for another 80 seconds. Countdown. If you can sustain it, 80 to 85 RPMs, try adding 1 gear. Your watts will go up. See that? They went up drastically just by adding 1 level. Let's go, buns. Moneymaker right here. Use them. Strong glutes. After the ride, you're going to want to roll them out. Stretch the glutes, because tight muscles are weak muscles. 20 more seconds. 10. Drop the mic. Woo! Check out that. It says test completed and reveals your FTP. Do know your performance on a 5-minute FTP test is usually superior to what your performance would be on a 20-minute test for obvious reasons. But you are able to compare your performance to other cyclists of your gender. Here's what you're going to want to do. Write down that number, your FTP. Then take your body weight in pounds. Divide your body weight by 2.2. That will reveal your body weight in kilograms. You'll then do a little bit of division. You take your FTP, divide it by your body weight in kilograms, and that's going to give you your watts per kilogram. Then do a quick internet search for 5-minute FTP test for male or 5-minute FTP test for females, and you'll be able to see where you land on that curve. Are you in the upper echelon, or do you have some work to do? You'll be able to figure that out. You don't want to do your FTP test every day or even every week. Give yourself time to train. I like to train for 6 weeks between FTP tests when I do 20-minute FTP tests. That way you've really given your body time to evolve, and your performance should be better 6 weeks later. But I don't know about y'all, I'm feeling pretty good today, yeah! You survived power endurance through 1, 2, 3, 4-minute power endurance intervals, and then you took on the beast of a 5-minute FTP test. That is incredible. Now please be sure that you continue to drink water after the ride is over. I know I'm speaking for Johnny G himself when I say, I am so proud of you. That is work that 95% of the people out there have no interest in doing. And you just crushed it. Don't let too much time pass before joining us for another Johnny G Spirit Bike indoor cycling workout. My name is Brooke Benton. Stretch it out, but I gotta say, so long for now.